Origin is EA's proprietary game launcher designed to allow you to purchase and play any EA title, along with allowing you to connect with your friends. Now, whether all these features work properly or not is a whole different story, which, if you look into EA's backstory, at least recently, I'm sure you know the answer to that one. The store on Origin is extremely underwhelming. It only has a library of EA games which are lackluster at best. Plus, the UI is terribly laggy and disorganized. For example, if you're trying to find a specific game, good luck with that, because it's going to take forever without searching. And even if you do successfully find the game you are looking for, the store is extraordinarily laggy. It takes forever to load a game that you click on. So if you're trying to purchase a game, for example, if you click on that game, it's going to take probably 30 seconds to load and buffer that game onto your Origin. And it'll do this whether it's installed on an SSD or not. These lagginess and load time issues apply to pretty much everything in the app, including community features and to trying to add friends. Pretty much everything loads extremely slow and is extraordinarily laggy. Also, the community features for this app are an absolute joke. You only have the option to text and join voice chats with friends, which the voice chats are laggy and the sound quality is absolutely awful inside of them. And to put the point across that the UI is terrible, I didn't even know that voice chats existed in Origin until I researched for this video. I had to look up the functionality of Origin and what features were inside of it to find out that there were chat rooms in it and how to get to them. I literally had to look up how to get to voice chat rooms in Origin because it's so incredibly hard to find. Now, the issues with Origin don't just stop at load time issues. In June of 2021, EA's source code was leaked, which included over 780 gigabytes of data that was leaked out to the public, which included source code to their game engine Frostbite and source code to pretty much every game that they've ever put out. And this helped cheat manufacturers produce cheats for pretty much every EA title. Around this time, there was cheaters and DDoSers running rampant in the Titanfall franchise, which, if you don't know, the DDoSing got so bad that you literally couldn't play Titanfall 1. The DDoSers were able to grind Titanfall 1 servers to a halt, making them not even function. And Titanfall 1, for the record, is online only, so it literally left the game unplayable, which EA decided to continue selling the game through this period, even though it was unplayable. Finally, EA decided instead of actually fixing the problem, they would just officially shut down the servers for Titanfall 1 and stop selling it on all storefronts, which irritated the fan base of the Titanfall franchise because now one of the two Titanfall games are now completely left unplayable. But it didn't stop there. Once Titanfall 1 ended, Titanfall 2 started getting hit harder by the DDoSers and cheaters. DDoSers started DDoSing games with content creators in it and putting content creators on a blacklist. And if they ever joined a game in Titanfall 2, that server would immediately get DDoSed and they would no longer be allowed to play the game. The DDoSing got so bad that the community made their own client called the North Star client to stop cheating and DDoSing in the game. This client also supported mods and extra features, but the main reason why this was ever created was for the purpose to have a better anti-cheat and for the DDoSing to be able to come to an end. Now for EA's refund policy, which slightly deters me from buying games on Origin because I think Steam's refund policy is a little bit better. They will only accept your refund if you request a refund 24 hours after launching the game or 14 days after your purchase, whichever comes first. Which, to be fair, is better than Ubisoft's god-awful refund policy that only allows you to get a refund if you don't open the game at all, which I did a video last week on Ubisoft Connect if you guys want to check that out. But it is still miles behind the Steam refund policy, in my opinion, which allows you to play 2 hours of a game or refund it within 14 days of purchase, which I think is a little more fair for both parties. However, I don't think EA's is necessarily bad. The problem arises in situations like Battlefield 2042, where they were refusing people's refunds because they slightly went over the 24-hour deadline, even though the game literally didn't work and was pretty much unplayable. It was such a buggy mess that shooting in the game didn't even function properly. Shots would not hit enemies. Vehicles wouldn't function. You could literally drive vehicles up buildings. The game was completely broken and a buggy mess, and you literally couldn't play. And around this time, Steam was offering refunds no matter what. Didn't matter if you voided their refund policy or not. Even if your game time went over the maximum amount for a refund, they would still provide you with the refund as long as you gave a reason as to why. Which situations like this make me more inclined to buy games on a third party like Steam instead of the proprietary EA Origin or Ubisoft Connect, because both of these launchers are only going to have EA's and Ubisoft's best interest in them. They're not going to care about the customer as much as something like Steam. In August 11 of 2014, EA announced its new subscription-based video game service called EA Play, which gave members access to a ton of EA games, franchises, and a 10-hour trial of any new releases for $5 a month. Now, EA Play Pro eliminates the 10-hour trial limitation and gives you the best editions for every game, which means you get the Ultimate Edition for like Battlefield and things like that for an extra $10 a month, which isn't a terrible deal if I'm being totally honest, but compared to Xbox Game Pass, it doesn't stand a chance. Which, speaking of Xbox Game Pass, on March 18th, 2021, EA Play became included in your Xbox Game Pass subscription. Keep in mind, this isn't the Pro version, but it's still an insane deal. It kind of negates any reason to buy EA Play Pro over Game Pass. So if you aren't a huge fan of EA games, then EA Play Pro is kind of a waste of time. Recently, EA made a huge announcement. They decided to rebrand and remake the entire Origin app. They decided to rebrand and remake the entire Origin app into what's called EA Desktop. They're slowly adding support for games on this app until eventually it will replace Origin entirely. Hopefully, EA will learn from Origin's mistakes and fix some of the major problems with the app. But if I'm being honest, we all know how EA is. I doubt they'll actually successfully do this. But I guess this marks the end for Origin. And good riddance. If you guys want to watch me talk about Ubisoft Connect and how bad it is and how it's literally probably one of my least favorite clients out there right now, watch this video. Otherwise, you can help me out and click that subscribe button. Anyways, peace out.